Hello everyone, welcome to Urbanscape Bangalore, and in this episode, after a very long time, we will talk about a very omnipresent indoor plant, also an outdoor plant, the Areca palm. The scientific name is Dipsis lutescens. This is a native of Madagascar and has naturalized in many tropical parts of the world. This is from the Araceae family, and no prizes for guessing why this was named the Areca palm. Also, this is a close relative of the coconut tree. These are great air purifying plants and can remove toxic compounds indoors. So today, let us look at some of my secrets in keeping this plant healthy, happy and thriving. Sunlight. This plant can grow both indoors and outdoors. So if you grow this outdoors, prepare to see its leaves bleach and turn yellow. Indoor ones will retain the dark, glossy green color. Outdoors with appropriate lighting, this plant will do well if watered properly. Though it might bleach, the golden color is not all that bad to look at. So the ideal sunlight condition for this plant would be part sun with bright indirect light. So if you grow this indoors, an unobstructed southwest facing window will work wonders, and avoid the north as much as you can. They tend to not do so well. Do not compare this with plants like snake plant and zizi that can take really low light conditions. This one needs a brighter setup than that. Watering. The Areca palm is a water-intensive plant and requires water more frequently than your other indoor plants, especially if they are really tall and bushy like this one. But remember, water only when the soil is dry and do not overwater. The tip of the leaves will brown up due to stress if the watering isn't adequate. This is very common in this plant, and even the best gardeners will have this on their arecas. So don't worry. Some people just snip off the brown parts like this, but don't do it. It serves no purpose. The browning is so obscure that even you would miss seeing it sometimes, or even better, get used to it. Giving this plant a good overhead shower is great too once in a while. That will add some humidity element that this plant seems to love. Fertilizer. This can do well without any fertilizing, but once in a while a drizzle of compost when outdoors or seaweed solution when indoors would do. Potting mix. Now the potting mix of the Areca palm must be well draining, at the same time water retaining. So use a mix of 20% sand, 30% garden soil, 20% compost and 30% cocoa peat. Propagation. You can grow this plant with the help of plant division or seeds. For the plant division method, you can watch my old video above. But I must update you that the plant eventually did not survive the repotting. So seeds from mature plants that are grown in the ground can be used to grow new plants like this one. This was given by a neighborhood auntie, and I grew this in this container filled with well-draining media over a year ago. And this is how it looks now. With this experience, I feel that this plant is painstakingly slow to grow and does not reach the desired height very soon. Pests and diseases. So this is an important factor I know a lot of us deal with, especially if you have these growing indoors. So let's look at the different pests and diseases that affect this plant and how to tackle them. So under pests, you will most probably have to deal with two types, that is mealybugs that are furry like a cotton ball, and then scale insects that look like white dots on the leaves that you may mistake for a fungal infection, but it's actually a leech-like pest that latches onto different parts like leaves and stem and slowly sucks the life out of the plant. Then, from a disease point of view, we have fungal diseases that crop up due to poor air circulation and wet feet. So to tackle the above pests, I trust neem oil pesticide, and for those of you who want to know how this is prepared, you can watch my old video above. Spray this on the leaves, under the leaves and over the entire plant including the potting media. And do this preferably in a bathroom setup that will not spoil your indoor space. Spray the solution 3 days a week consistently and do it before the pests proliferate and take over the plant. For scale insects, it is always better to remove them physically when their population is still less. Fungal spots can also be tackled by the neem oil solution that in itself has antifungal properties, and the concoction also has baking soda in it that is effective in tackling this problem. Also, I have noticed that the outdoor Arecas are less susceptible to pests and diseases compared to the indoor ones. Container size. This plant can grow bigger in big containers, but this is not always true. You can see this huge one in such a tiny pot, so size does not really matter, but the position where you grow this plant does. Pruning. Now, if you see one or two leaves browning like this once a while, it's okay. But if you see too much of browning, that's mostly due to lack of sunlight or water, and you might have to take corrective steps. But if you see small amounts of browning, you can prune the leaves like this all the way down. Pruning also helps with better air circulation. Now, another factor seldom covered would be buying the Areca in the first place and how to choose the right one. So, if you go to a nursery, buy an Areca that has many clumps like this and are really tall. Choose ones that have concentrated leaves towards the pinnacle than those that have concentrated leaves at the bottom. These Arecas are more stately and can transform your indoor space for good. Choose ones that are dark green in color and avoid the yellowed ones, because the color may not revert or it might just take too much time for it to become dark green again. Now, this plant is also excellent in a high-rise windy apartment balcony because these have palmate leaves like this that allow the air to easily pass through without destroying the leaf structure, and I had to learn this the hard way when I kept my Calathea lutea in the balcony and the wind ravaged its leaves. So with this, we've come to the end of yet another episode of Urbanscape Bangalore, and I really hope you found this video informative. Additionally, you can follow me on Instagram and Facebook. The links are given below. And always remember, to grow slow is to grow well. Thank you for watching, and until we meet again, a very warm goodbye.